Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Jaybird TV. You are watching the Pink Pinch Project. Glad that you're here. Today's episode will be on the prow and off to the left on the flat wall and slab. So I'm getting warmed up here on a pink V2, V3 with some really fun pinchy holds and some great movement. So excited once again in the new year here, just setting goals and ready to get stronger. The routes once again have been really stout here at Terra, but just feeling really great, lots of flow. It was really busy for the holiday season, which was really fun to see. Terra just being really popular and more people getting into climbing. I'm really excited to see what happens with climbing being in the Olympics. So hopefully that'll bring some more popularity and more notoriety to the sport, and it'll continue to grow and evolve into the amazing sport that it is. So my man Rory McDonald asked if I have an Instagram. I actually do have an Instagram. I just made it a little while ago. It's called Jaybird TV, and it's mainly just posts of me working out, things like that. Not always climbing related. I have been getting really into calisthenics, and I've been posting some calisthenics exercises and things that I've been working on there. But if you'd like to follow, I post semi-regularly on there, and I'll continue to post some pretty cool things. So come check it out. Jaybird TV, and of course I'll continue to post on the YouTubes as well. So here, just getting up this another pinchy route here, this pinchy yellow V4, V5, really fun. I love that movement in the middle where you kind of mantle up. Very cool to see different people's beta, and requires some flexibility and definitely some pushing strength. It's always fun to get the triceps engaged in climbing. Definitely not as commonly used, but it's something that I like to train quite a lot, especially for balance and to avoid injuries. So my man Boom Floof also saying, always good to have a humbling session. He's referring to my last episode in which I definitely was struggling a little bit. And looking forward to seeing my goals. Thanks, my man. I hope that you have some great goals set too. And Boom Floof is recommending that I have a Moonboard project, like a benchmark, and then I revisit it just to see the progress. It's a great idea. I will definitely do so. The Moonboard is currently kind of out of action just because we're building a kilter board. Kilter board's an adjustable wall, great for training. Of course, you can take like a V3 and then just keep changing the angle on it, and it could eventually become as difficult as like an 8 or a 9, which is really cool. So super excited to see that. Just continue getting stronger and having more climbing be accessible at Terra Firma. Really rad. So here we have this blue V4, V5 on the overhanging wall. Some really cool movement here. I always love when heel hooks are kind of engaged. Starts down low, get that heel set. It's really fun to get dynamic on this route and try and skip holds too. It's possible, and definitely is the opposite realm of going the technique route with using a lot of heel hooks and things like that. But here I'm just trying to get back in touch with having really excellent technique. I find that climbing slow is a really great way to hone in on your technique. Improves your static strength, your lock-off strength, but really forces you to use your feet. And just getting the top there. And this episode will be between 2 different days, so you may notice the outfit change between both the routes. Here, a really great V6, V7 with these green holds. Love the movement on this. This is something I can climb over and over and really enjoy it. You see there's some pretty big gaps in between the holds, meaning that there'll be some powerful movement. So cross up into this pinch, and ideally keep your foot on. Getting a heel set. I do cut feet for a hot second there. And get that heel engaged, and then reach out. And once again, cut feet, but just a really fun move. It's always nice to be going to a good hold as well, just so the route's becoming much more stout. Sometimes you get holds on routes that just feel really hard to use, but all these are pretty great. And the switch into the undercling was pretty forced there, which I love, as well as falling into that. And the big move up, and really from here it's pretty much done. It's definitely one of the more doable 6-7s on the wall. Of course, whenever it's a powerful route, I always think that anyhow. It's kind of right up my alley. So here we are coming to this black holds V6, V7. Very competition style set, very gymnastic. Those pinches require some power out of your shoulders. So it begins, as you can see, getting set between these two holds, and you need to lean out right and then actually fall. snag that undercling and you grab the really nice jug, and then make your way out to the pinch. From here you have to do a match meat hook, but then actually switch to double Gastons in order to fall into that pinch move. I actually fell quite a few times on that. I did work this particular route a few times before this filming session. Here you kind of mantle the lock off, and for me this is the real crux. So ideally you'd be able to set your right foot and turn your hip out, but for some reason I could not make it work. So you see me trying to kind of span up and grab that crimp, trying to bicycle there, anything I can do to try and force my way up and get close enough to use that. I do bail here. That position just felt really difficult for me to use, so definitely was brushing those holds off quite a lot. Once again, just getting set up in here and trying to figure out what will work. I felt that my height was not tall enough to reach up and just grab that, but also it was really difficult for me to just actually sit on my right foot and get my right hip turned out. Like you see I'm trying to do there, my toe keeps turning upside down. And the hold that you go up to left before the finish is not really that great. You're supposed to be in a very controlled position. I think that's why they set it so. And just lots of kind of moving around, and as I was saying, I did fall quite a lot, so here's a fun little falling compilation. Those holds definitely got pretty greasy and chalked up too, so it almost got harder as more people climbed it. And even when I was able to power my way through that section, still falling at the top there. So here's just a close-up. My roommate was here one of the days and got a few close-up filming action shots, which I really appreciated. So I was getting locked into that. I do love how you kind of swing out and then need to cut feet in order to get the left foot up. And then once again, the lock-off move. It just felt so close. Upon watching it and kind of pondering on it now, I think it'd actually be great for me to go up dynamically to the finish, and that's something I'll definitely try. So moving on to a blue V67 here. This one's really fun with the movement from the beginning outright, and you'll see how that kind of works. You just have the one crimp there and then a really good jug. So you definitely can use the feature, which I saw some people doing. But I found it was best to walk your left foot down and then kind of fall out right and catch yourself. Felt really awesome. And then you need to get adjusted, which is pretty easy with a good foot and good hand here. Hit a crimp, get the high left foot, really compress, and that was probably crux actually. Hitting that left hand and then moving your weight up. And from there it is pretty much done. So Isiva Sonaru, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, was asking if Terra Firma has 2 grades for all the routes, like V4, V5. They do that style of grading. They used to kind of narrow it down and just do 1 grade, specifically for a bouldering league that we had. But overall, I think it's just much easier on the setting team if they can kind of give it the more broad category. Grading is always pretty subjective, so I find that it saves them a lot of time. And there's always the Moonboard for really hitting those definite grades. So this yellow route is V4, V5, but really technical, so there's no way for me to power through this. As you can see, I need to fall out and snag a left hand, which is rather slopey, and snag that toe hook and really compress. I found it was a bit easier to almost turn and look down at my foot, as you see that helped me really snag it. And Scarpa Instincts, the shoes that I'm wearing, they're actually the Instinct VS's, are a bit new to me, and I'm trying to get used to really being able to feel well with them. It's pretty thick rubber, which is great. I think that'll make them last longer, but I'm really used to the solution, and I've just worn that shoe for so many years that it feels really familiar. I know exactly where my toe is at, but I'm kind of getting used to the Scarpa Instincts and kind of learning those shoes. But happy to get the top there. I actually fell more than I even put in. I just fell for about 3 minutes straight until I just snagged the move and kind of locked in the beta. So up next, we're going to have a really slabby route here, this V6, V7. Pretty awesome. I really had to hone the beta in here as well. The Evil Merc 8 was asking if there's any way to prevent yourself from over gripping. They take long breaks, but it feels like they push their forearms. There is a great way that I've learned from others to prevent over gripping, and that is actually to get on the wall, to grab some holds, and then keep slowly releasing your fingers until you actually fall off the wall. And I think that you'll be really surprised by how long you can continue to release until you actually pop off. You don't need nearly as much gripping and strength on a lot of holds. Of course, in some instances you need to squeeze hard, but if you can save that energy for when you really need it, I think it'll improve your climbing quite a lot. Something that I should kind of re-hone in on. But there you see me finally getting to the beginning crux of this V6, V7. This route was extremely consistent. Those holds at the top actually were not that great. And once you get set on both, you have a foot that did not look that great. I really didn't want to use it. And the top seemed pretty far away, and you couldn't just lock off due to those two holds being a bit slopey. And I kind of bail out of there. I was expecting to pop up, but it almost came off a little bit. And I did exclude some falls from this one just because I did fall quite a lot. And here, even though I thought I was set, I definitely got to pop off when I was shifting my weight out right. So here, coming back on the second day, you get a thumb catch there, and then you need to stand up into this crimp. And I actually popped off there. Like I said, I'm really learning the toe on the Scarpa Instinct VS's. But hit the corner of the feature, hit the thunder cling, and step up into that. Really weight your left foot in order to hit that crimp. And then do that really cool, gradual stepping up move there. I had a different idea here to go to the top, which was just to commit. I feel like when I got up there previously, I really didn't commit to actually tossing up to the top. For some reason, I get a bit intimidated when there's features below me, or on slabs sometimes. I'm nervous to go to the top. I don't know why that is. But going with the right hand and able to sink that in, pretty psyched about that. Just so many good climbs on this set. And this is the Pink Pinch Project. So there was a day I was in the gym, and I did work this quite a lot the day, and I was not filming then. So I have the beginning beta. So even though it may look like I'm kind of doing it quite easily, it took a lot of honing the beta, and I had a lot of falls. But get a toe hook set there, or to use that first sloper, hit the crimp, and actually walk my left foot out, and then get a toe hook down low on the start. Hit a rather slopey hold, bump it up to a pinch, get my right foot up, and then switch to an undercling. Here begins the crux. Going out right, you need to keep that pinch and then bump up right again. It's a really difficult move. I'm sure that Brendan, if you all saw the video, 20-second front lever, Brendan did send this, but he's an absolute animal. He's super strong. And for me, I was really struggling, so I tried to work this quite a lot in isolation, trying to hone in that beta. So when I do stick the pinch, my left usually cuts out, and I just really struggled going up and sticking that next sloper. Felt difficult to use. There was no better foot that I guess I thought of, or that I thought to use. I really think it's just kind of having the adequate power. So there are definitely times when I hit those pinches really well. And closer there, I felt pretty close in that go, but man, it's just really difficult to use. It's a sweet project though. I love the beginning movement. And here, once again, just trying it a lot in isolation. I wanted to see what the next move felt like, so I was thinking about maybe getting a left heel. That didn't feel great. So my next thought was to actually moon kick and kick my left foot out in order to generate some momentum and go to the left hold. So I do try that, and surprise, surprise, that one's also really difficult to use. So definitely a tough route. I'll continue to work it for sure, but the two top holds below the actual top look rather good. So I think if you can get set on those two slopers, you're good. You can probably finish it up from there, but can't imagine doing it from the start and getting pumped from those additional moves. And I've never actually stuck that move to the sloper. It felt great just to hold it in isolation, but I was still really surprised at just how difficult it felt to go out left. So definitely something that I'll keep working on, and that's going to bring us to a wrap, fam. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. Peace.